Robinson Crusoe, adapted for English language learners at level A2 by Story Steps. Chapter 10, Rescue. Many months passed after Friday's father and the Spaniard left in their canoe. Each morning, Friday climbed the hill and looked toward the sea. "Not yet," he said softly. I too watched the horizon, half afraid, half hopeful. One bright afternoon, Friday shouted, "Canoe! Canoe!" We ran to the shore. Out on the blue water, a small boat moved toward us. My heart jumped. They had returned. When they landed, Friday ran to his father and hugged him. The Spaniard smiled and lifted his hands in greeting. Behind them were 3 more men, 2 Spanish sailors and 1 dark-skinned man from the mainland. They were thin but alive. They had escaped from their enemies and brought tools, food and powder. My little island no longer felt empty. For the first time in many years there was laughter and many voices around my fire. The Spaniard thanked me again. "Señor Crusoe," he said, "we have spoken of your plan. We are ready to build a great boat. With God's help, we can all leave this island." His words filled me with joy. Every man began to work. We cut trees, shaped planks, and dried them in the sun. Friday was strong and cheerful. The Spaniards were clever and patient. After weeks of work, we had the beginnings of a fine boat. One evening, as the sun went down, we heard a sound that froze our hearts. A gunshot from the sea. We ran to the hill and looked out. There, just beyond the reef, was a large ship. "An English ship," I cried. I had not seen one for 28 years. A small boat was leaving it and rowing toward the island. We hid behind the trees and watched. The boat landed on the beach. 11 men stepped out, 3 with weapons and 8 without. I could see at once that the armed men were the masters, and the others were prisoners. I heard angry voices. The 3 pushed the prisoners forward and shouted orders. I crept closer and listened. To my surprise, they spoke English. "Tie them up," one man said. "We'll leave them here to die." I understood then. This was a mutiny. The sailors had fought against their captain. The sailors had taken control of their ship and planned to abandon their captain and his loyal crew on my island. I turned to Friday. "We must help them," I whispered. When those sailors left the prisoners on the sand and returned to the boat, we came out of hiding. The prisoners sat sadly, thinking they were alone. I called softly, "Friends!" They jumped and looked around. "Don't be afraid," I said. "I live here. Tell me who you are." One man stood up. He was tall, with a pale face and kind eyes. "I am the captain of that ship," he said. "My own men turned against me. They mean to kill me and keep the ship." I told him I would help. His eyes filled with tears. "God has sent you to save us," he said. I gave the men food and water, and we planned. "If we can capture some of the mutineers when they return," I said, "we can take back your ship." The captain agreed. We hid behind trees near the beach and waited. The sun began to set. "They will send men to check," the captain whispered. He was right. When the boat came again, 5 mutineers stepped onto the sand. The others stayed at sea. Friday and I aimed our guns, and the captain called out, "In the name of the king, give up." The men froze in fear. 2 ran toward the trees, but Friday shot over their heads, and they dropped their weapons. We tied them and brought them to my cave. The captain spoke with anger, but also pity. "If you help us take back the ship, I will let you live." They agreed at once. Night came. The sea was quiet, and the ship lay dark against the horizon. The captain whispered, "Now or never." He, Friday, and I went down to the shore with the loyal sailors. We rowed in silence toward the ship. The stars shone above us, and the only sound was the water under our oars. When we reached the side of the ship, the captain climbed first. A guard leaned over the rail, half asleep. The captain struck him down before he could cry out. We followed quickly. In moments, we were on deck. A fight began, short and wild. There were shouts, blows, and gunfire. Friday fought bravely, and the loyal sailors defeated the rest. Soon the ship was ours again. When the sun rose, the English flag flew once more. The captain turned to me with tears in his eyes. "Mr. Crusoe," he said, "the ship is yours as much as mine. You have saved my life." I smiled. "No," I said. "God saved us all." We went back to the island for the others, Friday's father, the Spaniards, and the rescued men. They wept with joy when they saw the ship. I walked slowly to the beach and looked at the water. For 28 years, I had dreamed of this moment. I thought of my old home in York, of my father and mother, and of the long road that had brought me here. Before we sailed, I looked around my island one last time. I saw my fence, my cave, my fields, and the goats feeding in the grass. It had been my prison, my school, and my home. "Farewell," I said softly. "You taught me how to live." The wind filled the sails. The island grew smaller and smaller behind us. Friday stood beside me, smiling but quiet. "You are free now," I said. He looked at me and answered, "We free." I put my hand on his shoulder. "Yes, Friday, we are free." We sailed for England, and after many weeks we reached the shore. I stepped onto the land of my birth, older, wiser, and full of thanks. The world I had left was gone, but I was alive. I had lost everything once, but I had found something greater: faith, courage, and a friend who had shared my island and my heart.